You know, we learn half of what we learn in our whole life before we're 5. Isn't that amazing? Your relationship with money was set before you were 5 years old. Your relationship with your health was probably set too before you were 5. And even your relationship with love was set before you were 5. Think of your mind like a Ferrari, and think of you like a hugely competent, highly skilled Ferrari driver. Take that Ferrari where you want it to go. Your mind does what it thinks you want it to do. This is probably one of the most powerful rules of the mind. Here's your mind's job. It's got a very clear job. I'm your mind, and I'm going to do what I think you want. And when you say, oh, this commute is killing me, my boss makes me want to die, my kids are making me go up the wall, I am stressed out of my mind by the freeway, your mind goes, oh, you keep telling me that something is killing you. It appears to be your job or your commute. Why don't I just give you a lovely ulcer, and then you can stay home and avoid that place that's killing you? That's its job. Why don't you do your job and talk to your mind better? The commute is a pain, but I have great CDs to listen to. I have stuff to do. My boss is difficult with everyone. It's not me. He's not there and I'm having sex with my wife. He's not in the room and we're having a lovely dinner. This is temporary. He's an unhappy person. Do it better. You will get what you want when you tell your mind what you want. But here come the words. Let's imagine you're going to give a speech. And the words are, oh my God, I'm freaked out. I'm terrified. I'm going to go bright red out my mouth and go, oh, I haven't got the time right. I'm so nervous. Your mind goes, do not get on that stage. If you walk to that stage, I'm going to give you a massive panic in the middle of the room because you told me you don't want to do it, and I've got to do what you want. Or you can go, I am fantastic at speaking. I've got something to say. People like me. What I have to say is of value. Speaking to a stage is like speaking to my wife or husband. And then your mind goes, get on that stage and do it. You always have a choice, but your mind's job is to do what it thinks you want. When you go, I want a week off. Who's ever done this? What I would give for a week off lying in bed. Your mind goes, leave that with me. Now you got the flu. How cool am I? I listened to you. You wanted a week off lying around watching Netflix. Now you got it. That's not what you wanted. You need to say, I need some time, and I'm like a battery, I need to recharge, and I'm okay at working full out all week, because at weekends, I recharge like a battery. Now your mind understands, but saying, I'd give anything not to have to chair that meeting, your mind goes, how about a nice dose of diarrhea? I can bring that up for you. You don't want to chair that meeting? You said I'd do anything not to go. I'd rather kill myself than give that presentation to my boss. And I goes, oh, don't kill yourself. I just give you a really upset stomach. Now you can't even leave the bathroom. There's no chance you're meeting your boss. Done what you wanted. I know I'm making it funny, but it is funny that so many people don't understand your mind's job is to do what it thinks you want, and it bases that on one thing, the words you use and the pictures you put in your head. And here's some great news. You can change those words and change those pictures like that. And when you do that, it changes everything. So your mind tries to move you towards pain, away from pain and towards pleasure too. I mean, so many kids who go, you know, I want to ask out this girl, I want to talk to that boy, but I'm so nervous they won't like me, and they're going to reject me and laugh at me, and if they keep doing that, the mind's going to go, no, don't go there, stay the way you are. So you have to say, people like me, I'm a great kid. I get all my young kids to write on their mirror, I'm an awesome kid, I'm enough. And it really changes them because they start to feel it. I'm an awesome kid. I can talk to a girl like I can talk to my friend. And then they feel okay. But if you keep linking pain to them, your mind goes, don't go there. Don't go there. And if you link pleasure to it, you go there because you're giving your mind an easy job. I've got to work on my website all weekend, and all my friends are in the bar, so I can link pain to that. It's not fair. It's not fair that I've got to spend all weekend writing when I could be in the pub. Now your mind's going to go, I think you should tidy up your sock drawer, make sure all your forks face the right way, then plump up the cushions, and then go to the pub. because it's very clear you do not want to work on your website. But oh boy, getting those forks and knives in line is really compelling. Who's done that? Most of us do that. I suddenly need to do the laundry, which I don't even like. I'm tidying up my house because I'm saying I don't want to write that bit of work. How about saying it thrills me to work on my website? I'm elated working on my website. There is nowhere I'd rather be in the whole world right now than sitting in my office working on my website. Your mind goes, I'm going to set you on fire now. You're going to be doing this till 2 in the morning. You told me you love it, and it thrills you. Let me fill you up with energy and passion. I'm a writer. I know how this works. I never go, oh my God, I've got to write a book. It's so lonely. It's so isolating. And what if no one likes it? What if it goes on Amazon? They go, I hate that book. And it gets no stars. Or I can go, I love writing. How cool is it? I get to write and people pay for my books and they like them and they give me great reviews because there's the choice going on again. So whatever you want, you must link massive pleasure to what you want, and you can link pain to what you don't want, but I don't bother to do that. Let's think of all the pain, your book's never published, you go into your coffin, it's still in a drawer. You don't have to do that, just focus on the pleasure bit. I'm a writer, it's amazing, my book is published. I used to always imagine my book in stores. I'd imagine going to an airport, see people reading my book. And when I did, it was like, wow, but your mind went, well, I took you there because you showed me very clearly what you wanted. I had that image to take you to, because what you want wants you. And what you are moving towards is moving towards you. Don't move towards fear. Don't move towards failure. Don't move towards it going wrong. Move towards it going right. So we've actually done the next bit. Your mind responds to the pictures and words. The fastest way to change anything is to change the pictures and words. And it's such an easy thing to do. I'm terrified. I'm elated. I'm useless. I'm amazing. I have no memory. My memory is compelling. I can't speak to people. What I have to say is easy. I find it easy to speak to anyone. This is the most vexing rule of the mind for every therapist and coach in the room. It's the one my clients have the hardest time with. Your mind loves what is familiar. If your mind could choose, it would stay with what's familiar and never go to what's unfamiliar. We're in a walled city. And that's interesting because years ago at night, they shut the door and we stayed in the wall. We didn't think, do you know, I feel like going for a midnight stroll. I think I'll wander. I'm a bit bored of being in this same old, same old. I want some variety. I think I'll open the gate, wander off and find another tribe. They might have killed you or eaten you. We learned familiar made us safe. Who here notices with their kids when they're little, they want the same cup, the same bowl, the same cereal? I took my daughter to Finland to see Santa Claus. She watched Little Mermaid in Finnish the whole time. And she didn't, that was okay in Finnish because she knew, she'd watched it 110 times. I'm like, babe, here's Father Christmas, here's only Mummy. I want to watch The Little Mermaid. It's like, well, next time we'll just stay home and watch a movie then. She did actually get into it, but it made her feel good. She used to play this game. She had so many Barbies, and Ken would come up in his car, and he always picked the same one. He never picked another one to go to the ball because they like familiar. It makes them safe. You know, how many kids you have, they want the same story every night. But familiar also makes us safe. So here's a rule of the mind, and it's a very important rule to put into practice. My mind likes what is familiar, and it doesn't like what's unfamiliar. Okay. But I can make anything negative unfamiliar and anything positive familiar. Let's start with praise. It's the most simple, but the most powerful. I meet clients who are never praised. I met one girl whose dad said, "You're so rubbish, just like your mother. God knows what you've got going. If any man asks you out, snap them up because you are nothing. You're not interesting, you're not attractive, and you get pregnant, you'll blow up just like her and be a big fat mess. So if anyone wants to be with you, I can't imagine why. Take them." And she heard that a lot. So she had this interesting belief, I've got nothing to offer the world. And I did a lot of work with her, and she went out, it was just amazing. It was like magic. This guy came up, and he asked me out, and he was so nice. I mean, he actually made another date, and he picked me up in his car and took me out for dinner, told me I was amazing. I'm never seeing him again. I'm like, really? She went, no, he was too good for me. I'm like, oh, let's change that wording to his behavior was so unfamiliar. I don't recognize praise or nice, or somebody believing I'm worth something, and I want to run back to the familiar guys I have to beg to take me out, or seeing my friends, I pay the bill, and they remind me of my dad, and I'm like, well, guess what? You're not supposed to have sex with your dad, so there's a clue. If someone is like your dad, I don't think you should be getting into bed with them, and I think you need to make that unfamiliar. People like it when you make them laugh. So she went, right. So I said, you need to go out with this guy, and this is what you do. You keep saying, I will make this familiar. He rings me when he says he will. I make it familiar. He texts me. I'll make it familiar. I will make it familiar. And she ended up marrying him. She's very happy. She said, how weird. The other guy called me and said, what happened to me? She went, what, the guy who never called me? You never called me, so I just let you go. So you have to say, let's do it with all of you. How many of you find praise a little unfamiliar? How many of you find praising yourself even more unfamiliar? Okay, so if you're never praised and you're criticized a lot, and criticism is familiar, when someone goes, wow, I love that t-shirt, you go, I got it free, it's got a hole in it, I've had it 8 years. I loved your speech. Didn't you notice I missed out the best bit? No, I thought it was amazing. I hear you're the best salesperson in your team. Yeah, but not in my county. There's another guy way better than me. So if praise isn't familiar, you will reject praise, but you'll add in what's familiar, criticism. So one of the best things you can do that will change your life is to make praising yourself familiar and to make criticism unfamiliar. Don't do that day in life. I'm going, oh God, look at my hair. Oh, there's a stain on this jacket. I'm an idiot. Oh, I didn't buy any nice food. Now I'm going to have to eat donuts. I'm such a moron. I didn't charge my phone. I'm a retard. I haven't got enough time to get there. I'm a loser. You know, if someone said over your work, going, well, it's not very good. Look at that. You haven't even spelt it correctly. Then all the way home, they went, you haven't left enough time. You're an idiot. You haven't got any nice food. Moron. How quickly would you kick them out of your life? Pretty fast. But when it's you, you can't kick yourself out of it. And when a friend is mean, you go, they're having a bad day. But when you're mean, your mind goes, well, it must be true. Everything you tell me is true. So you need to make praise familiar. It's really easy. I'm amazing, I'm kind, I'm nice, I'm real, I'm authentic, I'm a good person, I have something to offer the world, I have a unique skill. That's easy. And don't go, I'm an idiot, I'm a moron. I was telling my little girl off one day, she got very good, she said, Mummy, you are a silly Billy. And I thought, well, that's a great word. So next time I'm about to say you idiot, I go, you silly Billy. Because it's just a word. If I said to my husband, oh, you silly boy, he doesn't go, how could you offend me like that? Because it's a word. It's how I say it. You're so naughty. He doesn't go, I know, I need some therapy, I'm so bad. I go, oh, you're so bad. So you can make words. So I want you to think of the worst word you have for yourself. It's always the same, stupid bitch, airhead, idiot, loser. And I want you to change it to silly Billy. Because when you say silly Billy, because you can't help it. I was changing a light once and my hand was wet and I nearly electrocuted it. And I was about to go, you stupid effing. And I went, you silly Billy, don't do that again. Because why beat yourself up? There's enough people in the world who'd like to beat you up. Why do you want to be one of them? Be nice. Show the world that you're worth it. So up praise massively and minimize criticism. If you wanted to change your life today, this will change your life. Praise yourself a lot and don't criticize yourself. And if you do go, yeah, but I did something really bad, go, well, I learned. I learned from that mistake. I'll never do it again. If it taught you something, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. You're allowed to make a mistake. You are not allowed to beat yourself up, berate yourself, and call yourself names and punish your body for doing what everyone does. They make mistakes. So to make a mistake is human, and to forgive yourself feels really divine. And to call yourself a silly Billy feels even more divine. So that's something I recommend you all do. Whatever you focus on, you get more of. How many of you sat having an injection going, oh my God, that needle's going in and it really hurts? You notice that babies don't do that because they don't know. So whenever I have to have blood taken, I get my phone out. It's the easy, and I get completely, and I go ahead, and I don't really notice it. But if I look at it, it's not the same. If you focus on pain, it hurts. If you focus on stress, you're more stressed. In fact, I had a client come up to work on stage with me, and she was like this. She was shaking so much. And all my class would go, my husband was like, wow, I've seen you get people out of that, but I've never seen them start with it. And she was just shaking so much. I'm like, okay, I want you to shake more. I want you to really shake. Come on, Gwen, you can do better than that. Shake, keep shaking, shaking, shaking. I said, you know, have you ever seen a deer pursued by a lion? When it gets away, it doesn't go, I need therapy now. This is so traumatic. It shakes. It stands and shakes, and it goes back to the herd, and life goes on. And when I made her shake, what was happening is she began to think, oh, I'm in control of the shaking. I'm doing it, then I can stop it. And so when clients go, my knees are knocking, go, knock them together loud. I want to hear it. My hands are clammy. Can you make them even more clammy? Can you turn up that sweating so you're dripping? Yeah, go on then. And then I say, you see that you're doing it. What you focus on, you get more of. When they focus on, oh, I did that, and I can turn it down, it feels better. So don't be scared of clients that shake or sweat or start to laugh. So when they laugh, I go, I want you to laugh even more. I want you to almost wet yourself with laughing. Actually, I don't say that too often because that does put a good picture in the mind. When people, I say, laugh more, cry more. I laugh with them. Sometimes I cry with them. Whatever you focus on, you get more of. If you ski and you focus, you'll go. If you're on the freeway and you focus on an exit hard enough, you'll take it without even planning to. So whatever you focus on, you get more. Focus on great things, and you'll get more of them. The strongest force in every human being in the world is that we must act in a way that utterly matches and is completely consistent with our thinking. I know I'm going to fail. I know I'm going to mess it up. I know it's going to hurt. I know it will go wrong. Now you have zero choice but to act in a way that's consistent with your thinking. I know it's going to be great. I know I'm going to sail through it. I can ace this. This is easy. Change the words. It changes your whole language, but everything starts with a thought. Everything, everything, everything begins with a thought. And here's the great news, your thoughts are yours to change. And you can change your thoughts. It's actually incredibly easy when you learn that everything starts with a thought. A thought is a word. And if you use words elated, empowered, ecstatic, blissed out, amazing, phenomenal, incredible, I'm stellar, I'm just amazing. And you can repeat the same words over and over again. I feel ecstatic. I'm elated. When I work, they say, I can't stand up to my boss. I can't tell my mum that she's actually the biggest bitch in the whole world who ruined my life. I go, well, how about thinking if you say that, it makes you feel elated. It makes you empowered. It sets it free. Because outrage is just rage that needs to come out. I said to her, listen, your anger is like gas. Better out than in. She's not in the room. Let's do it now. I want you to say to your mum, Mum, you know, I want to love you more, and I can't because I resent deeply. And suddenly they go, you absolute bitch, you biggest bitch in the world. How could you do that? And I feel so good now because it's that. And I can go home and I can love my mum better because I've let the resentment out. So I never tell people to keep it in. I think feelings do their most damage when they're kept in, when they're repressed and pushed down. And most of my clients who binge and drink too much are pushing down feelings. The stomach is the seat of all emotions. You can't heal what you can't feel, but you should let feelings out. And if you keep it in, you always suffer, you always feel repressed. Many clients I see who say they are depressed are not depressed. They are repressed and they are suppressed because they can't say, I resent you for always saying, my brother was smarter. I resent you for marrying 6 different guys who were hideous to me and never putting me first. And then they make their peace and then they move on. You have to be aware of it. You have to accept it, and you have to articulate it. I call it AAA. Be aware of your feelings. My ex-husband drives me crazy, and I'm so angry with him, and I can't tell him because he's the father of my kid. I get that. Shut the bathroom, turn on the taps, and say, you are the biggest, arse in the world. Thank God I've got a great arse, because I realize I don't need another one in my life. And make it funny. God gave me a great arse. I don't need to marry one. I'm done with you. But say it, and then you feel better. And make it amusing, so they don't think, oh, I feel terrible. She said, I can say, I've got a great ass. I don't need to date one. And now I feel good. I remember that. They remember stuff that's funny and significant. So remember, your thoughts form the blueprint. What you present to your mind, it will present back to you. When you go, I'm not enough, it goes, of course. And when you go, I am enough, it goes, of course. So we've already covered this rule that your mind doesn't care. We've covered every thought you think. Here's a great rule. When dealing with a subconscious mind, the greater the conscious effort, the less the subconscious ones. Who's tried to relax? Who's tried to sleep? Who's tried to remember? What's the name of that restaurant? I don't know. And suddenly you think, oh my God, it's just popped in my head. Your mind actually is like Google. If you need to remember, don't go, where's my keys? Where's my keys? My passport? Oh my God, I'm going to miss the plane. I'm going to get fired. It's all a disaster. Don't do that. Say to your mind, tell me where I put my keys. Remind me where my keys are. And do something else. And it will pop in. Oh, of course, I came in and I put them next to the fridge. Tell me the name of that restaurant I went to. Do something else. Your mind will do its job. You give it an instruction. Mind, go ahead and tell me where my keys are, where my wallet is. And it will tell you. It will pop it in your head. But when you try and start, you know that thing where you empty out the drawer? And then you go and empty it out again. And now you've emptied it out 3 times looking for your passport. You know it's not there. But for a 4th time, let's tip our handbag on the floor, pull out our drawer. I'm missing the flight. Oh, my God. Everyone's going to hate me. My kids are going to be furious. Don't do that. Stress shuts down logical thinking. When you're stressed, your mind goes, there must be a lion somewhere. Let me pull all the blood away from your brain into your heart and lungs so you can run. I saw this in action years ago. I was walking home, and this guy was following me. And I lived in a basement, and I got halfway down the stairs, and I knew that he was going to come down the stairs too. And I got my key in the door, and I couldn't work out. I thought, I've lived here for 5 years. I don't know how to open the door. So I was so scared. But I had the foresight to pull the key out, and I had to stand back in the shadows, flatten myself against the wall. And he came halfway down. He couldn't see me, and he left. But I wasn't going to keep trying to open that door, because when you're scared, your mind just disappears. You can't even remember your own phone number. So you have to fill up your mouth with saliva and pump it around. Push your shoulders down, and then you're not stressed. But it's very important when you want to remember something, don't try. Ask your mind to remind you. And if you're in an exam and you think, oh my God, my mind's gone blank, fill up your mouth with saliva, swirl it around, push your shoulders down, and your mind goes, a wet mouth is a sign of someone who's relaxed. That's why we kiss, by the way, before we have sex. A wet mouth makes you relaxed. And so don't do that. I can't remember. I don't know where I'm going. I'm lost on the freeway. Oh my God, which road shall I take? I'm just panicking. Fill up your mouth with saliva and say, subconscious mind, remind me. I looked at the map. Which road is it? It will tell you, because it's foolproof, but you've got to do it too. Your mind works for you. You don't whatever. Put it to work. I mean, if you had a PA and went, okay, I'm going out now, just do the job. Or, hey, I'm going to Tallinn, could you decorate my house? Do you think you're going to come back? And they've done it right? No, you've got to go, this is exactly what I want. The more specific you are with your decorator, PA, or hairdresser, the more you get what you want. You don't go to a restaurant and go, oh, get me something to eat. I didn't want that. Well, you said anything will do. You got to talk to your mind that way too. So I think we pretty much got that. The mind can't hold conflicting beliefs. So let's go on to hypnotic language patterns. We have just enough time. Children can only work in the present tense. They don't understand tomorrow. My little girl said, Mummy, is it tomorrow today? She didn't know what yesterday, today, and tomorrow was. She goes, is it tomorrow now? Is it tonight, today? Because they don't understand. They only understand now. That's why with a baby, when you leave the room, they think you're never coming back. And so children aren't really great at future pacing. Children can only respond to words that make pictures. The more vivid the picture, the more powerful they respond. So don't say you're a good kid. Say you are an amazing kid. What I love about you is you've got a natural gift for science. Or what I love about you is you're so good at cooking. What I love about you is how much you love learning. It doesn't matter if you don't get great grades. You love learning. The more you can make the picture good. See, I have so many kids who are twins ago. I was called twins. Twins, lunch is ready. Twins, get in the car, and they had no identity. Don't do that. Don't dress your kids the same. Don't say, I love you, because you're smart. Because when you label a child, you limit them. Even a good label. I love you because you're beautiful. Kids say, and if I wasn't, you wouldn't. Don't do that. I love you because you're lovable. And when you grow up, people are going to love you. One of my clients said, I can't find love. My dad used to say to me every day, no one's ever going to love you like I do. Well, there's a program. You say to your kids, you're so lovable. You're going to find so many people who love you like I love you. So a child's mind doesn't recognize neutral words. How many people say to a baby, don't touch? And then they touch. Because don't is a new touch. They know what touch is. Don't touch. Don't touch. Keep touching it. Stop touching it. They can only hear the words touching it. So you can say that's very fragile and it's very important to mummy. As I say to my little girl, when you're walking across the house with a drink, don't spill it. Oh, look, you've spilt it now. I knew it. You always spill it. I go, darling, when you got to look at the cup and not the television. And if you look at the cup while you walk, you'll keep it up, right? And then everything will stay in the cup. They understand stuff that makes a picture. Don't spill your juice. I guarantee they're going to spill it. Every day you go, you just can't stop spilling it. You're just a messy kid. And 4 days later they go, I'm so messy, I'm always spilling stuff. What's wrong with me? You are conditioned. That's what's wrong with you, but you can be unconditioned like that. So a child mind responds better to specific words and instructions, so they don't understand later. They do respond to positive words. You must, with children, eliminate every negative word. You're bad, you're naughty. Good kids do bad things. Smart people do silly things. Say to a child, you're a great kid. Why did you do that? That's not you. You're a good kid. And they go, well, you said you liked her more than me. No, I didn't. Well, I heard that. And so if you start with, you can't do it all the time. Our kids push our buttons. I say to my daughter, you know, you're my teacher, darling. You're teaching me how to cope with someone who gets paint all over the carpet. My daughter's an artist. I'm tidy. She's messy. I wasn't designed to give birth to myself. How boring would that have been? She's nothing like me. I'm nothing like her. We learn from each other. It didn't make our life perfect, but it made it easier. So children also respond to you are, you can, you always, you do. You all know the story about the class that were given to a teacher, and the teacher told these kids are geniuses. We predict they're the best. And you are the genius teacher. We've done these secret tests. Genius kids, genius teacher. We know you'll get genius results, which of course they did. And then they went, well, we picked you at random, and we picked the kids at random. But if you believe something, it becomes true. So let's go on to the very last one. Children can't future pace. So when they're feeling sadness, it feels like it's going to be for the rest of their life. And they do this thing called tagging. I can't make my mummy happy, and it's always going to be this way. I don't have a dad. I don't have anyone to love me. It will never, ever change. We don't have enough money. It's going to be like this for the rest of my life. And so when you're working with children, I say to them something which I love. I say, look, darling, this is your life today. It's not your life. I know your dad's an alcoholic. I know your dad's in jail. I know your mum's working all the time and you live with babysitters. And I know that is your life today, but it's not your life. One day, you'll have a totally different life. They're not good at future pacing. But that one expression, it's your life today. You have no friends. I mean, I worked with a little girl who had no friends and was so bullied. And now this girl has got so many friends. Because I always say, remember, it's just your life today and probably tomorrow and next week. And I taught her not to want friends, because when you have a little thing on your head that says, please like me, kids don't like that. They like, I like me. If you want to like me too, good. If you don't, you're lost. And I taught her to do that, to change her energy. She was inundated with friends. But they really respond to that word. And because children can't future pace, that's like when you're below 2 and the mother goes out, kids think she's not coming back. When you say, oh, my child's so greedy, I want it to wait to eat, they feel that they're never going to get fed again because they cannot future pace. And so when you're a therapist or a coach, when people say, you know, I wolf down donuts, I mainline jelly beans, what's wrong with me? Somewhere, somehow, their parents have made them wait and wait, or remove food as a punishment. So you don't have that because you're bad, or we can't afford that. And because the child's mind thinks it's forever, they act as if it's forever, even 40 years later. So the job of the child's mind is just the same as the adult mind. It does what it thinks the child wants to do. I don't want to go to school. I'm scared of school. And now I've got all these anxiety attacks and hives and eczema. I went to a little kid who had eczema, and I said, darling, I know this is a crazy question, but if the eczema had a job, what would it be? And he said, well, when I stand like that and Mummy puts the wet bandage on my eczema, he called it his sensible skin, couldn't say sensitive. He said, when she puts the bandage on my sensible skin, she shouldn't put any cream on that baby. And there it was. He told his mind as the mother did, I want that. I want massage. I worked with another kid who had migraines at 6, very unusual. As if the migraine was your friend. I know that's crazy, isn't it? But if you wanted to help, you went, well, when I get migraines, Mummy and Daddy stop shouting, they turn off the light, and we sit in the dark until it goes away. So he'd obviously said to his mind, I wish I could stop my parents fighting. And the mind goes, let me come up with a solution. It may be crazy, it may be harmful, but the mind doesn't do, just let me have a solution. It doesn't think, is it good, bad, helpful, unhelpful, beneficial? It's just a solution. So children tag onto these painful issues of painful experiences, and you can change it by getting rid of the tagging. It'll always be this way. It will never change. It'll be like this for the rest of my life. You can help them incredibly. And I'm talking about adults come into my office and go, look, I know I'm a millionaire, but I can't spend money. I'm so worried it's going to run out. Because when they were a kid, they couldn't spend money. They didn't have it. So people hold on to this stuff. So I think we're just about out of time, but since we're talking about, I'm going to tell you a very funny thing that happened to me. So I work with a lot of children, and there's nothing better. One little kid said to me, Marisa, you are the magic person, and you stopped me wetting the bed because you did magic. But all I did was tell her that when her tummy was full of wee-wee, can't say bladder, that this magic Barbie light went up to her brain, and she woke up, and she sat up, and she ran to the bathroom, and then the next day she called her grandmother and said, Grandmother, I'm dry. And then she went to sleepovers. I excited her imagination. I did it several times. In 20 minutes, that kid never wet the bed again, and she said, you did magic with me. Then I worked with another kid who said, Marisa, you're so cool, you do magic. And then I worked with a big hulking kid, and he went, you're the bollocks. And I thought, isn't that interesting that the words for a man's genitals are a massive compliment for a woman? It's a massive insult. So there's your language patterns. Being the bollocks is a huge compliment. And being the female equivalent is a huge insult. So you have to make of words what you want to make of words. But if you use powerful words, you'll have a powerful life. If you understand the rules of the mind and put them into practice, you will be running the ship. Your mind is like a Ferrari, and you're like a driver trying to run that Ferrari. The subconscious is the Ferrari, the conscious is the driver. I don't even know how to run this. But if you learn, you can handle a Ferrari. Think of your mind like a Ferrari, and think of you like a hugely competent, highly skilled Ferrari driver. Take that Ferrari where you want it to go. Make your life incredible.
Creating a vision board can be a really powerful way for you to build and attract the life you desire. And I'm going to show you step by step exactly how you can create a vision board that will work for you. Some years ago, I'd written a book on weight loss, and I couldn't get it published. So I found a literary agent, but in the meantime, I was so bored with waiting. I thought, you know what, I'm going to do what Wayne Dyer did, create my own audience and self-publish this book. And I'd actually decided to do weight loss roadshows, and I created one, I put it on, and it didn't sell any tickets, well, about 10 tickets, and I cancelled it. And the same day I cancelled, my new agent called and said, hey, that thing you're doing at the weekend, I've got HarperCollins coming and Penguin and all these publishers. I'm like, oh my God, I cancelled it. She said, put it back on. They're all coming. I'm like, right, okay. So I immediately put the course back on, let the people know that I was still doing it, rang around everyone, gave away free tickets. And then I had a choice. Should I sit down tonight and plan out my course? No. I created a vision board of something like that, and I put on all these pictures of my book being a bestseller. I took the Sunday Times bestseller list and stuck it on there and put my book at the top. I wrote all over it, Marisa Peer's book is a bestseller. Everyone wants to sign this book. And I spent ages doing my vision board, and it was all ready to go. And the next day, I turned up and I did my talk with no preparation. And when I finished, I Google and Penguin and HarperCollins all lining up saying, oh, we so want to sign your book. And I signed it, and I got way more money, triple, maybe even more than I ever imagined I could get. And I still have that vision board, and I was so thrilled with it. I went home and I thought, let me add some stuff. So I put on a picture of somebody with a Tiffany ring behind their back. I put a picture of a beautiful wedding. I put a picture of a hot air balloon over Egypt, a cruise. And I wrote lots of things on it, like Marisa Peer is the best therapist in the world. I put it above my bed. And you know what? Almost every single thing on that board came true. I was engaged and married 10 months later. I did take a hot air balloon right over the pyramids in Egypt. It was so romantic. I've been on several cruises. Everything on that board came true. And so today I want you to have a vision board. Why do I want you to have one so much? Well, I want you to have one because they work. Why do they work? Well, you see, whatever you focus on, you get more of. If you have a needle put in your arm and you look at it, you go, oh, it really hurts. But if you don't look, you focus less. When you focus on eating food blindfolded, it tastes better. Whatever you focus on, it increases. And a vision board trains your mind to focus on what you want with an absolute belief, I'm getting it. The pictures make you think, I am achieving it. There was a study that showed the brain patterns of weightlifters lifting heavy weights were almost identical when they lifted the weights and when they visualized lifting the weights. When I used to do yoga, we'd do a yoga exercise, then we'd close our eyes and visualize doing that same exercise but being more flexible. You know what happened? Our flexibility increased. Let me show you what happens when you visualize. Put your arm out like that. I'm using my left arm. Use your right one. And just swing your left arm behind you as far as it will go. See, I'm pushing mine really to the limit. Do it with me. Push your arm behind you. Bring it back. Close your eyes and visualize your arm going much further with your eyes closed. Say to yourself, my arm is super flexible. All these muscles and tendons and ligaments are so flexible. I'm like a bendy doll. I'm like a gymnast. And now say to your arm, go a third further. You are super flexible. Say it. Say it again. Go a third further. You're super flexible. And now swing your arm back and see what happens. Your arm will go way, way, way further simply because you saw it happening. If you want to find out more about using the power of your subconscious mind to let go of negative beliefs, I recommend you watch my masterclass, my free masterclass, which is linked in the description below. So that thing with your arm is just showing you that when you visualize, you actually make something real. You visualized your arm being more flexible and you made that real. If you visualize eating a lemon, you make saliva. So when you make a mood board, all kinds of amazing things happen. Why don't we make mood boards? Well, here's the thing. You might go, you know, I live in an apartment with 3 friends and I'm embarrassed to have a mood board with pictures of engagement rings or weddings or puppies or kittens. I'm embarrassed for my friends to see my inner hopes and dreams. So I also have a mood book. And a mood book is pretty cool. It means you just do the same thing, you stick in pictures. But let's start with a vision board, come back to the vision book. So I'm going to start with a picture of a relationship. You see, if you want love, then do that. And keep looking, say, I'm going to find someone that looks at me like that. And love doesn't have any age. So there's loads of pictures of people that aren't 25 with perfect thighs finding love. So the first thing is find an image of what you want. A couple on a cruise together, a couple running a business together, and just stick that up in any old fashion, doesn't have to be neat. Look at it and say, I am attracting that. That's where I'm going. Me and my perfect partner are walking along the beach together at sunset. And I do apologize, these are all heterosexual couples. Some of my best friends are gay couples, but I just didn't have time to find that. But I did find this. A bunch of guys out on a boat together. What does that mean? Well, that could mean I have great friends. I look at that as a successful company. Rather annoying there's no women in it, but nevertheless, I want success. Here's me and my team going out on a boat doing a team building exercise. I create my own company, and this is my staff. I do recommend you have men and women in there together. Maybe it's friendship, and you know, friendship's so important. Here's me and all my friends having a fabulous dinner together. So you see how it is. I'm making a very generic mood board. But you can make one just about business. I want to write a book. Let's have pictures of books and bestseller lists and put your book in it. Maybe this is about you building your own business. Here's someone building a business in sales. Here's someone building a business as a DJ. That's pretty cool. A woman DJ, there's plenty of those. So you get the picture. You get the picture. Maybe you want to be super healthy, so just putting in a yoga class, just putting in paddleboarding, something I do every single day, or horse riding. Oh, run out of, let me add that. That can go here. So just the horse riding. So you see, you're getting the picture. Maybe you want to be super healthy. You could put up a picture of a great body. The kind of food you would like to eat. You see, if you put up pictures of great vegetables and look at them, you start to, you know what? I need to cook that. I need to learn how to do that. I'm going to start cooking those great vegetables. So you can really put anything at all on your vision board. You can put up pictures of a business success. You can put up pictures of the kind of body you want to have, the kind of food you'd like to eat, the kind of exercise you want to do. Here's a pool. So I'm going to swim every day. Here's another pool. Here's the kind of bedroom I want to have in my house. Here's the kind of house I want to have. Here's the kind of stomach I want to have. Here's another house that I would like to have. And on it goes. Here's the boat trips I want to go on. And of course we all want to travel. So lots of images of having a great massage, having a lovely car in the drive of my house, having a car where I can go camping. All these places I want to visit. I've been here, it's amazing. And you just put them up on your board and then you write all over it. So that's really important. I am lovable. I am with my perfect, with my one. I love exercise. I have fabulous friends. Ignore my writing, I'm doing this rather quickly. I'm super healthy. You can write all over your vision board. I'm healthy, I'm loved, I'm enough, I'm successful. I have great friends. What I want wants me. And again, if you don't want your friends to see that, then create a book. I was just on a plane and I read about this private lounge at LAX. I'm like, oh, I want to go to that private lounge. And I thought, no, I'm going to that private lounge. So this private lounge at LAX, I would cut that out and put it in my book. And because I travel so much and I don't take my vision board with me, I have a vision book and I have images like that to remind me to eat better, to work out, to remind me to use all the herbs and spices that are good for my immune system, to remind me that I love Santorini. And you can create a little vision board book, and if you're on the road a lot, it's actually a better idea. As long as you do this, you have to, of course, open it, look at it and say, I am going there, I am doing that, I am having that. And it might help you know that Jim Carrey, when his career was not going well, put a vision board of himself doing phenomenally well, having another great movie. Oprah Winfrey has a vision board. Kelly Hoppen has the vision board. In fact, she said every year, I don't do New Year's resolutions. Every year on January the 1st, I do a new vision board. I put out my vision for that year. I'm going to move, and here's the kind of apartment I want, the kind of client I want. So you can have a vision board, you can have a vision book. If you have a vision board, you can't hide it under the bed. Get it out, put it above your bed, and look at it every day. Only when I looked at my board every day did I one day think, wow. After I got married, I thought, you know, I should kind of take this down now, but I left it up for a long time. And then I thought, every single thing on this board has come true. So you have to look at it. If you have a vision book, look at it, write in it, and of course you update it. You think, you know what? I've got a new vision now. With my vision board, it has a glass in front of it, and I don't take it apart. I just stick things on top of the glass with blue tack. I write on it in magic marker. I write on it. Marisa Peer's book is a bestseller, whatever the title of the book. My new book, Tell Yourself a Better Lie, I write on my board, Tell Yourself a Better Lie by Marisa Peer, is a bestseller, a runaway bestseller. I might have a picture of someone at an airport reading a book, and I'll simply Tipp-Ex out, white out their book, and write out my book, Tell Yourself a Better Lie. I could take a picture of a bookshop window with all books in, go home, and I will change that picture, even though I'm just drawing it, so my book is the one in the window. I took my daughter to Waterstone's bookshop in London. I said, you know, darling, in a few months, Mummy's book is going to be filling this window. I didn't know that, but I described it to her. It came true. And we had the greatest joy in taking a picture of me and her standing outside Waterstones like that. And the book, the window was full of my book. You have to see it. What the mind sees, it moves towards. What you focus on, you get more of. When you have a vision board or a vision book, it makes you visualize every day. Every time you look at it, you're visualizing. Every time you open your book, you are visualizing. And as you visualize, the world of possibilities opens up. And as you see the image of your book, your speaking gig, your business, your startup, because you're seeing it every day, you suddenly think, you know what? I need to take action. I keep looking at this image of me with my own business, signing checks, signing books, getting awards. I now need to take action. So visualizing alone isn't quite enough. But when you have a vision board and see you with the life you want, it inspires you to take action. It also fires you to believe that of course you can have it. If you can see it, you can achieve it. If you can dream it, it's inside of you. And the vision board takes it outside of you. So you look at it, focus on it, make it real. If you want your own home and you have images on a vision board, you'll start to think of ways you are going to find your own home. In fact, there are studies that say that 82% of businesses who use the vision board said within a year, 50% of what was on their vision board had already become real. Think about that. This is a business person, not woo-woo. They had vision boards within a year. 50% of their visions had already occurred, and if they can do it, you can do it. Only habits hold you back. Make a great habit of making a vision board, a vision book. It would change your life, just like it changed mine. Don't hesitate, start now. Get lots of magazines, get some pens. And another thing you can do, which is great, is you can have a vision board on Pinterest. You can use your computer screen as your vision board. You can use your phone screen as your vision board. You can go to Pinterest and pin all the things you want. And now it's on your computer. It should be your screensaver. It's on your phone. And you can print it out into a big poster, put it above your bed, put it above your desk, put it into your vision book. Look at it every day. And in no time at all, what you want will be right in front of you, because what you want wants you. What you are moving towards is moving towards you. Make your vision board so that you can see what you want, move towards it, and it's yours. What would you feel if I told you that there is actually no such thing as false hope? That we can have a limitless hope for a positive future? Because actually that's true. But we are never hopeless, ever, because no matter what is going on, you get to choose how you feel about it. And when you choose how you think, that will change your life. And when you can make those thoughts positive, that too will change your life. So I had an experience, must have been at least 15 years ago. I lost a baby I was carrying. The person I was with broke up with me because he couldn't deal with that. In the middle of all of that, I was fired from a television job I loved and replaced with someone. And that was a lot of loss, and I'd never ever been depressed in my entire life, ever, but I suddenly thought, oh, this is what depression is. This is a lot to bear. Lost a baby, lost a partner, lost a job. Could have said I also lost face when I lost that job. But I began to understand what depression really felt like. Luckily, I didn't have it for long because I know how to work with my mind. And I thought later, you know, that was good. I can really look depressed clients right in the eye and go, do you know, I do understand how you feel. I can have empathy for you. I can understand that feeling when you wake up and go, ugh, everything seems so dark. So I don't even regret that. And when I was feeling like that, the only thing that helped me was reading, getting lost in a book. And that's when I wrote my book, Trying to Get Pregnant and Succeeding. I thought, I got to make something good out of this. And I did, and many, many women said, I got pregnant, I had a baby, here's my child, you helped that child come into the world. So while I lost my child, I know that that event helped so many other people to have children, and I'm completely fine with that, and I don't need to feel sorry for me. I feel great. But throughout those dark days, I had hope. Oh, I'm depressed, but I've got an understanding what that is. How can I get over it? And then I created an audio called The Natural Cure for Depression, which would have been much harder for me to make if I hadn't really understood what that actually felt like. I knew that I would write a book and help people, so I always had hope. So you must always create your own silver lining. We hear that word, every cloud has a silver lining. I decided, hey, my cloud's going to have a platinum diamond encrusted lining. Because when something goes wrong, when something doesn't work, and you think, oh, I've got no hope here, you do actually always have a choice, and here's your choice. I can justify why I feel so bad, or I can talk myself out of it. I worked with a client, 17 years old, so young, and when she told her boyfriend she was pregnant, this was a man she loved, her first ever boyfriend, her first sexual experience, he said, it's not mine. And she said, I read in your book something that said I can, in this situation, I have a choice. Rationalize why I feel so bad or talk myself out. And she said, oh, you've just done me the biggest favor. You're not who I thought you were. I could never spend my life with you. I don't want you to be the father of this child. If that's who you really are, I'm so glad I found out now and not 10 years down the line. So when things are bad, really bad, bleak, horrible, sad, miserable, you still have a choice. Rationalize why it's so horrible, or talk yourself out of it. And you can always, always, always talk yourself out of it. And one of the things that helps is to think, you know, this feels bad. Is anything good about it? Is there something good about this? I've just lost a baby that had something wrong with it, and that's so sad. But maybe nature didn't want me to have this baby. Maybe nature looked at the fact that it wasn't a viable pregnancy. I've just been dumped. But if that person could dump me so meanly, they weren't right for me. I got fired, and that's so unfair and unjust. But you know what? I'm going to find something bigger, better. So you have to create your own diamond-encrusted lining, because working towards hope gives you a limitless perspective on the world, no matter what's going on around you. You know, I recently was working with someone who got the terrible news that their partner was dying, and he didn't have very long to live, and they were longing for 2 more years, 3 more years, 4 more years just to be with him. And then one of the relatives said, you know, this is the right way. This is going to be over in 4 weeks, and this would be a terrible thing to have that poor person lying in bed for 3 years sick with your children in the house. And although it seemed awful for her because she wanted more time, she realized that it was actually better that way. I saw that with my mother. My mother's husband, who she loved very much, went into a coma, and she was longing for him to come out of it and live. That was her hope. He's going to open his eyes. He's going to get better. And then she realized he was never going to get better. And she was going to have to visit someone in a coma every day, 3 hours across town. And then she began to hope that he would actually pass away. And when he passed away, that was very sad. It was also a relief, because you see how quickly her hope changed. I hope he gets better. Oh, I hope he doesn't have to stay like this for years and years. And so often our hope changes, our perspectives. I saw that when my father died. My father's lovely wife kept saying to him, don't go, don't leave, stay here. And he stayed just long enough, 10 more days, to give her time to get used to it. And then when he passed, she too said, well, I miss him, but that was horrible for him to live like that, just in bed, couldn't eat, couldn't really talk. That was no life. So hope gives us time to adjust to something that we think is unbearable and painful, and then we sort of get used to it and we adapt, and we can cope with anything that has an ending. Anything at all. When it has an ending, I've seen many people who went to jail. Martha Stewart went to jail, and she made something good of that. Robert Downey Jr. was in all kinds of trouble. So was Jim Carrey. But they turned that around to their advantage, and that's what hope does. It makes you say, okay, this is going to pass. This too will pass. This will get better. How can I use this to my advantage? How can I grow, learn? How can I benefit other people? If you can ask that question, how can my situation benefit others? Then you have massive, phenomenal, incredible hope. To do that, you have to always see an ending. When people go, oh, I'm depressed and it's going to be forever. I'm never going to climb out of this black hole. It's never going to get better. I'm always going to be out of work. I'm never going to find love. When you use those statements, never, always, I can't see a way out of this. I'm just stuck. I'm sinking in this depression, in this horrible situation. It's actually your language that makes you feel so terrible. And your words shape your reality. You know, I worked with somebody who wrote to me when I had my own advice column and said, I'm out of work. I feel like a failure. I just can't get a job in my community. I can't hold my head up. I feel like the worst dad in the world, and there's no hope at all for me. And I spoke to him because I really wanted to help him. I called and we had a long talk. And the result of that talk is that he decided to coach young children, to coach a football team completely free, to help kids. He created this football team. And he wasn't paid, but he could hold his head up and go, hey, I'm doing something great in my spare time. And then he realized lots of these kids had no IT training, and so he set up a completely free computer school too. And I'm not going to say that he suddenly got a wonderful job, because he didn't. I haven't spoken to him for years, but he said, you know, I can hold my head up. I say, what do you do? As I coach kids, I've got this amazing football team. I'm helping kids play football, get out of the house. I'm training them, and I'm helping them all have computer skills, and I feel great. Another of my clients said, you know, I'm so embarrassed. People say, what does your husband do? And I go, oh, he's an out-of-work actor. He hasn't been employed. And I can see them going, oh my God, there's another smart woman with a deadbeat husband. I said, why don't you tell them he's a writer? Because he is writing. He's writing scripts, he's writing books. And she said, you know, that's amazing. When I say, oh, he's a writer, he's working on a script, he's writing. Has it been published? Not yet. He's really enjoying writing and getting it together. So the way you see something will change everything. It's a question of understanding the truth about human psychology, and here it is. The way you feel about everything is down to the pictures you make in your head and the words you say to yourself. When we have too many negative thoughts and almost become a negative person, that will really impact your life. It will lessen your quality of life. If you are negative and have negative thoughts, a lot of negative thoughts, and you become a negative thinker, a negative person, that will limit your happiness, your confidence, and of course your enjoyment of life. But no one is born negative. We learn that behavior. We learn to think negative thoughts. We learn what we live. We play the only part we've ever known, and then it becomes our own. And today, I'm going to show you with a free hypnotic audio how to stop those thoughts, how to replace them, how to change them. Because here's the truth. Everything begins with your thoughts. Your thoughts control your feelings. Your feelings control your actions dictate your behavior, and you justify it all by how you think. So I know that changing your thinking will change your life, never more so than when you change negative thinking to positive thinking. So where does negative thinking come from? Have you ever met a negative baby that goes, don't look at me, I've got these triple knees and milk spots and no hair and a little fat tummy and a wrinkly little butt? No, never. Babies are naked with stuff coming out of their mouth, their nose, every orifice, and they still think they're lovable. They have no concept. All babies come onto the planet with positive thinking. I remember years and years ago when my little girl was tiny and I was talking to someone about money. She says, Mummy, you must never worry about money. If you go to the bank, they give you money. You see how her belief was? I was driving her one day and there was a vagrant lying on a bench. She said, Mummy, why is that man not having a home? I said, well, darling, he could have a home, but some people, unfortunately, live like that. They drink a lot of alcohol, they get in a bad place, and they don't have a home. And she went, oh, well, he's got a lovely garden to wake up to. When I say things like it's raining, she goes, Mummy, if it didn't rain, the flowers wouldn't get any water. And she was such a great teacher to me that she was naturally positive, naturally looked for the good. She'd see a puddle, that was great fun, she could jump in it. She'd see a worm, she was fascinated by its movement. She'd see snow, that was exciting. And unfortunately, we teach children to be negative. Now, my daughter would go to say with my mother, come home and go, Mummy, I've got my migraine headache. This will never work out. We've gone all that way for nothing. We'll never find a place to park. They're never going to have what I want in the store. She was still 5 years old. So my mother, who I love dearly, was incredibly negative, always sick, and was probably a master in negative thinking. If I took her away, she'd go, well, they're going to lose my luggage, the plane will be late, it will never work out, they won't have the food I want. If I took her shopping, she'd go, they'll never have what I want, I bet it's out of stock. And she would be negative in advance of a situation. Let's go out for lunch. Oh, they won't have what I like. I took her out once and I remember her saying, there's nothing on this whole menu I could eat. I can't eat gluten, I can't eat dairy. And it was very hard to say to her, Mum, you're thinking these thoughts and making them real. I was lucky that my father was the opposite, very positive, and I obviously chose to be more like him. Doesn't mean I didn't love my mother dearly, but where does this stuff come from? This negative thinking, it will never work out. What's the point? Everything I touch goes wrong. I'm bound to be late. I'm never going to get that job. It won't work out for me. Everyone else will get that, but it just won't happen. Where does that come from? Unfortunately, it comes from the people that raise us. If you are raised by negative people who go, oh, that's never going to work out, don't even try that. Oh, it's a scary world out there, you mustn't go there, don't do that. Even when I sit in the park, I'd see children playing and I'd hear parents go, don't do that, you're going to fall, you're going to break your neck. You don't try and climb that tree, you're going to hurt yourself. Don't swing so high, you could fall. I'd say to my daughter, darling, when you're climbing a tree, look at your hands, look at your feet, be aware. I never go, you're going to fall now, you're going to fall off any minute. Because I'm telling her she's going to fall. And of course she's going to fall. She had plenty of falls, of course. But we, often with the best intentions, program our children not to take risks. It's a big, bad world. Don't expect much. You'll never do that. You can't be top of the class. Some teachers say that too. Oh, that's too much for you. That's too hard. That's above your reading level. And so we learn to be negative, to think small, to not aim high. And as a second thing in play here that's very important, we are hardwired and super coded to go back to what is familiar. Because 500 years ago, familiar made us safe and kept us alive. So our primitive brain in our very modern body wants to run back to what's familiar and run away from what's unfamiliar. But you can train that brain to make being positive familiar and to be negative unfamiliar. Sometimes I have a client who comes in and I talk, they go, well, that won't work. I could do that, but yeah, I could stop eating cake. But you know, cake's the cheapest thing. It makes me happy. And I have to say to them, you're not allowed to say but in this office, and we're going to focus on other things that you can do. I can see that you're instinctively going back to what's familiar. Other clients come in and go, you know, I always date losers and I actually really like bad boys and I'm not interested in a nice person. I go, no, that's just familiar. There's no one that's too good for you. They say, oh, they're too good for me. No, they're unfamiliar. You can make anything familiar. Here's the thing. The first time you take a bit of plastic and shove it in your eyeball, if you're wearing a lens, that is the most unfamiliar thing you can do. Your eye will water and go, get that foreign object out. But if you keep persevering with lenses, you can do that. Super familiar. And even do that and squeeze that lens off your eyeball and it's familiar. Peeing in a toilet wasn't familiar once. Getting food in your mouth without aid wasn't familiar. So we're going to learn to make positive thoughts super familiar and negative thoughts so unfamiliar that they just don't exist in your world. We're going to start right now. So all I need you to do is, if you're in a chair like this, sit back. It's much better if you can have your neck supported, but for the next 10 minutes it's not essential. Uncross your legs. Don't sit like that because that's a closed position. Sit with your hands open if you can, your feet and knees apart. Also stops you fiddling. And just get ready to understand that we're going to make being a positive thinker so familiar that it stops being what you do and becomes who you are. And I promise you, I guarantee you, it will change your life. So make yourself comfortable. And remember, hypnosis is not scary. You are not going to sleep. In fact, you're going to wake up to the amazing possibilities of who you are and what you can do when you choose to think positive thoughts, because it is a choice. You know, I've many times got in a taxi, returned to London, drivers going, oh, where have you been? America. Oh, lucky you. You know, this country's finished. It's gone to the dogs. Like, I'm really sorry. I have to make a phone call now. I shut the partition because I choose not to get involved in that dialogue. Oh, isn't it terrible? What an awful world. It's dreadful. I prefer to sing that song. I think to myself, what a wonderful world, because I can choose. And the way you feel about anything is down to the pictures you make in your head and the words you say to yourself today. And for the rest of your life, if you choose, you can fill up your mind with positive thoughts and pictures And because your mind can only hold one thing, you can't then have negative words and pictures too. You can't be happy and sad, excited and terrified, feeling great and in pain. So let's go. All I want you to do is to look up like that. The same position your eyes go into when you naturally drift into sleep. I want you to look up. And the trick, and it is a trick, is to keep your eyeballs up but to close your lids down. Let's do that now. Look up. Keep your eyeballs up as if you're looking here, but keeping your eyeballs up, close the lids down. And if you can do that, and you just did it, you can't stop yourself going into beautiful healing hypnosis, which is safe, which is wonderful. It's rejuvenating, it's restoring, it's repairing, it's powerful. Hypnosis has changed my entire life, and it can do that for you. There's nothing to be scared of. You can come out of it at any time, but you're really just going to hear my voice guiding you like a meditation. You will like it. So let's get ready. Feet apart, hands not touching. Look up as high as you can. Keep your eyeballs up. Keeping your eyeballs up, breathe in and breathe out. And take another deep breath. Breathe in. That's good. Breathe out. You're not looking at the screen anymore. Your eyeballs are rolled up. So one more time, breathe in. Keep those eyes up for just a few seconds more, and keeping your eyeballs up. As you exhale, keep your eyeballs up, but just close your eyelids right down, all the way down. That's it. Just close your eyelids down. Breathe out. And I want you to drop your chin down now so you have that same looking down feeling that you might get as you look over a balcony or down a flight of stairs. You are looking down 10 steps. And as I count backwards, you can see your feet and hear your feet and feel your feet treading each step. This is safe, deeply relaxing, powerfully healing. You are looking down 10 steps. You have that looking down sensation. You are moving on to step 10. As each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. You are taking step 9 as you gently, calmly, easily move on over to an even deeper level. You're taking step 8. You can see your feet connecting to every step as you go deeper. You're taking step 7. You can hear your feet touching each step as you go deeper. You are taking step 6. You can see your feet, hear your feet, feel your feet connecting to every step as you go deeper and deeper into a beautiful, profound awareness of yourself. You are taking step 5. And you're now going deeper with every sound around you, every sound, every noise. Your own breathing, your own heartbeat are taking you deeper. You're taking step 4 as you gently, calmly, easily, beautifully drift into the most wonderful state of healing hypnosis. You're taking step 3, going even deeper still. You're taking step 2 as each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. And now you're taking step 1, just go deeper, drift deeper, sink deeper. And as you go deeper, you are listening with your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is taking in everything. And as you go deeper, you're suddenly remembering being a tiny newborn baby. And when you're a tiny newborn baby, the first thing that happened to you is that people assessed you. They counted your fingers and toes. They looked at you. People came to see you. And you never looked away and said, don't look at me, I'm having a really bad hair day or no hair day. As a baby, you were born with endless possibilities. Everything excited you. Every new day was exciting. Babies can spend hours looking at their fingers, looking at a mobile, staring at the leaves in a tree, and they are happy. And you were born like that, and even if you think you have forgotten, right now you are starting to reactivate, re-manifest, regenerate, and recreate that powerful ability you were born with to be positive. And as you go deeper, you're understanding something that you remember forever. You get the chance to change twice every day for the rest of your life. You can change twice each day. The first change is in the way you think, and the second is in the way you act and react. And you have decided right now to be positive. Being positive is a decision. Decision is a Latin word that means to cut off from. You have made a decision to be positive. And every day you're going to think and indeed say this expression, I am choosing to be positive, and I'm choosing to feel great about it. I want you to say that out loud right now. Repeat after me. I'm choosing to be positive. I'm choosing to feel great about being positive. I'm choosing to be positive. It isn't even what I do, it's becoming who I am. As you begin to repeat those words to yourself every day, every time you play this recording, and many times throughout the day, you are sending a clear message to your mind. I want to be positive. I choose to be positive. Being positive is a choice. It's a choice I'm making, and I like it. I love it. I love being positive. I choose positive thoughts. So as you go deeper, just hearing these words is causing your incredible inner mind to hear what I'm saying and beginning to manifest it right now. Just hearing it is causing your mind to act upon it. Your inner mind has no choice but to act upon the words you say. Let's say it again. I'm choosing to be positive. I'm choosing to feel great about being positive. Being positive is not what I do, it's who I am. Who I am is positive. I want you to say that, to think it, because as you say and think it, you are becoming a walking, talking, living, powerful, impressive example of a positive person. And you know you have a choice. You look at any event and go, well, how could I make this positive? What's positive about this? I went to Cuba with my husband. He lost all his luggage. I lost most of mine. And it was so wonderful. We wore the same clothes every day. It was great not to have to think, what shall I put on? It was incredibly freeing. I actually really saw the benefits in that. And that's when I learned to say, what's good about this? What's great about this? How can I make this positive? And I want you to think, how can you make every thought positive? How can you go through life being positive? Well, the easiest way is to look at a negative thought and to flip it over. That will go wrong. It could go right. Who will like me? Why wouldn't people like me? I can't do that. I can do it. I don't know enough. I will learn enough. What's good about this? What's great about this? What can I learn from this? And every day my words are going in, sinking into you like lotion on dry skin. When you put lotion on dry skin, it sinks in and it nourishes you. And the words on this recording nourish you every day. They sink in, they make an impact, and they remind you of a truth. The way you feel about everything is down to the pictures you make in your head and the words you say to yourself. and you are making positive pictures and positive words because that is your choice. You choose to fill up your mind with positive images and positive words no matter what. No matter what, you get to choose those two changes every day. You choose to put positive images in your head. You choose to use positive words always, always, always. And you choose something else. You choose to remember your thoughts control your feelings. Your feelings control your actions, and your actions justify your behavior. And every day you remember to take that right back to the truth. The only thing you can really control are your thoughts. And as you make your thoughts positive, your life is changing in the most powerful way. As you make your thoughts positive, your life is becoming wonderful, extraordinary. I want you to imagine you know someone who is a positive thinker. We can all find someone, even if it's on the screen. What would they say every day? How would they run their life? How would they cope with adversity? How do positive thinkers talk? How do they conduct their life? What do they do? They say things like, well, sorry it didn't work out. Sorry you don't like me. I like myself. Oh, you really can't reject me because only I have the power to reject me. That's unfortunate, but I believe something good will come of it. You see, you can choose. So imagine you're metamorphosizing into someone positive. That positive thoughts and beliefs are just melding into you, merging into you, that positive person that you know of or know. Their thoughts are becoming your thoughts. Their words are becoming your words. Your words shape your reality. You have chosen to think positive thoughts, to speak positive words. It's already changing your life. And one of the fastest ways to be super positive is to say things like, I can, I always, I do. Remember, the words that follow I am will follow you. So let's end this amazing hypnosis recording with some I am statements. I am positive. I am always positive. I can always see the positive in any event. I always do see the positive. I look for the positive. I find the positive. See, here's another truth. Whatever you look for, you will find. Repeat after me. I am positive. I am always positive. I am a positive person. Being positive is who I am. I think positively. Thinking positive is who I am. It's what I do. It's me. I am positive naturally, instinctively, intuitively. I look for the positive, and when I look for it, I find it. What I look for, I find. I invite you to repeat those statements and any others many, many times as you play this audio. I am, I can, I always, I do. And let me know how fast you change. And remember, you can change who you are and how you feel every day by using positive words. And if you think a negative one, just flip it over and say the positive instead, because your mind doesn't know and it really doesn't care which one is right. Choose the positive and you are choosing to change your life. So knowing it, feeling it, and more than anything, becoming it. This is not what you're going to do. This is who you are. So knowing it, believing it, making it so, being committed to make it so, you can just slowly, calmly, easily, effortlessly just come back to your full awareness on the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. You can open your eyes and just be here. Of course, if you ever play this before sleeping, you can drift straight back into sleep. So what are the symptoms of mental exhaustion? Well, there are many. We feel sapped of energy. We feel kind of inert, apathetic. We feel tired all the time. Even when we wake up in the morning, we feel tired. After a meal, we still think, well, I just have no energy. So things that would normally be signs of, oh, I'm rested, I've had a night's sleep, I've got energy because I've just eaten some really healthy foods, they're not there. We feel tired all the time. We feel incredibly unproductive. We feel like we're in a fog. We can spend ages reading the same piece of paperwork and just nothing is going in. We can feel incredibly emotional, and that can come out as sadness, being very teary, can be angry. We can be completely irrational, losing it like that, and really not in control of our emotions very well at all. We can feel completely detached from other people, from reality, the things that gave us joy. It just isn't working. And there are many other symptoms too. And of course, one of those symptoms on their own does not mean you're suffering from mental exhaustion. But if you have several of them, more than 4, then you probably are suffering with mental exhaustion. You can even go into burnout, and that's not a place you want to go. So that's what the symptoms are. But what causes mental exhaustion? Well, it's caused by our modern day issues. Stress is a huge cause of mental exhaustion. I'm always stressed. I'm always thinking of what else I've got to do. I wake up and my mind is running. I go to bed, it's still running. I can't relax because I'm stressed. I've got stress. I'm in stress. I didn't even know what stress is. But my doctor said, you've got stress. Now I know I've got stress, but what is stress? Well, it's really you're running on adrenaline. You're like the battery of your phone, but you're never recharging. If you took a phone, so I'll charge it for 5 minutes, and then use it for 2 hours, and then charge it again, that doesn't work. You are like a battery. You have to recharge yourself. But that's very hard when you're under pressure, tremendous pressure to get things done, when you're overworked, and when people are dependent on you to produce. Now, most people think of stress and overwork and pressure as something we get from our job, and that's very valid, but some people are like that at home. I work with women who choose to be at-home parents, but they are very stressed. The house has to be perfect, the kids have to be perfect. They're always worrying, always doing the what if, and always living in the future, thinking, I need to work towards a better future. Well, the future isn't here. You have to live in the right now. So it's the pressure you put upon yourself that causes stress. You may have a very demanding boss that says, deliver this and that, and I need it now. But when you take a deep breath and go, look, I work an 8-hour day. I love my job. This is what I can deliver in 8 hours. Unfortunately, you've given me 4 jobs that I just cannot complete. So you have to look at what's realistic. Do not overpromise and underdeliver, because that's what is causing your stress. You're giving yourself too much to do, not enough time, living on coffee, not having enough sleep. And these things make you even more stressed. So stress, your own internal pressure, the belief that you've got to deliver for everybody else what they require of you. I see many kids who are under mental pressure, mental exhaustion, because they believe I've got to get straight A's. I need to do this for my parents. I see many athletes who are under that same mental exhaustion because I must deliver. I've got to get it right. I can't let people down. Everyone expects so much of me. And the pressure is overwhelming. And I know what that's like when people expect a lot from you. We all know what it's like. But the only person who can stop that is you. So how do you cure mental exhaustion? First of all, you need to take a reality check and be realistic. There are 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. What can I realistically do? You need to divide your day into work time and no work time. And if you have a demanding job, when you go home, you need to leave your work at home. You need to really be present with your children, with your partner, even with yourself. You need to switch off. You need to think, okay, when I come in from work, I take my work clothes off. Maybe I have a bath, a shower, a coffee, a phone call, but I'm doing something that separates work from home time. And even if you work from home, you still need to think, right, I'm going to switch the computer off and I'm going to put on the radio and I'm going to symbolize to myself, work is over. This is my time. Now, I've written books and I know what that's like to work all day and all night because of a deadline. And you may say, look, that all sounds great. I've got to start up my own business. I can't just switch off at 5 o'clock. I've got to work 16 hours a day for a while, and I understand that. And you know what? You can do anything if it has an end date. So if you are in that position of having to work 16 hours, you need to say, this has an ending. I'm doing this for 3 weeks. I'm doing this for a month. I'm doing this for 2 months, but it will end. We can cope with anything, even pain, when we know it has an end date. It's a bit like giving birth. This is not fun, but hey, I'm producing a baby. I'm running a marathon. Everything hurts, but I'm going to get to that finishing line. Mental exhaustion at its worst when you say things like, this is never going to end, this is going on forever, I'm drowning in stress, I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So if you are in mental exhaustion, take a look at your language. Do you say things like, this is killing me, I'm dying under this workload, I am stressed out of my mind, I feel like I'm going insane with tiredness, I can't get on top of this. The minute I answer 10 emails, 102 more come in and it's killing me. I'm at my maximum bandwidth, I'm running out of rope. You see, when you use those very descriptive words, they become a blueprint that unfortunately you start to work from. So you need to say something entirely different. There's a lot of work on here, but I'm going to get through this bit by bit. I have phenomenal coping skills. I can do this. I've got this. It won't be like this for long. For something to get you, to give you mental exhaustion, it has to be permanent, it has to be personal, and it has to be all pervasive. That means it must go on all the time. And you have to think, right, you know, this workload is heavy and it's kind of all consuming, but it's not permanent. I won't be working like this for the next 2 years. It's not personal. I chose it, or my boss gave me this work because he wanted me to do something amazing. And it's not all pervasive. When I'm in the bath, when I'm having a lovely dinner, when I'm sleeping, when I'm having sex with someone, I'm not actually in this mental exhaustion. The problem is we say things like, this is consuming my life. This is happening all the time, 24 hours a day. You know, I meet clients who say, I've eaten 24 hours a day. And I go, really? Is that really true? Did you pee? Yes. Well, then you didn't eat in the toilet. Did you? No. Did you sleep? Yeah, I did. So you didn't really eat 24 hours a day? No, but I feel like I did. But that's not the same. So listen to your language. Do you say, this is consuming me, this never ends, I can't see an end? Is that I'm working 24 hours a day, I'm going insane with tiredness, stress, fatigue. People want so much of me, I just can't deliver. Change that language. People want a lot of me, they expect a lot, and I can deliver. But I'm going to be realistic with what I can deliver. If I'm working for myself, I'll deliver more. But I can see the goal, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And no matter how bad it is, I will take breaks. So when you're working on the computer and you're looking like that, you have to stop and look as far away as you can to rest your eyes. You must take breaks and go outside or just move around because you need that. Because at school, of course, you have work, recess, because we all work better. We work, take a break, work, take a break. So do the things that are good for you. Work, take breaks. While you're working, say things like, wow, I'm making progress. I can see that I'm getting through this. I feel so good. I've completed that task. I'm making headway here. I feel really productive, even if it isn't true. Say the things that will help you, not hurt you. Gosh, I'm making a difference. I feel so good. I completed that task. I feel so great. I made a dent in that, and I'll make another dent, and I'm getting there, and I feel good. See the ending. You must be able to see the ending. We can cope with anything when we can see an ending. You know, I worked a lot with prisoners, and what was interesting is that the people on remand did worse than those who were sentenced. Those who were sentenced could see an ending. Waiting for the sentence was much, much worse. So our human nature says, if I can see an ending, I can cope. So you must decide, oh, I can see an ending, and you must decide to take downtime. You must take time to sleep. You must hydrate. You must eat well. You can't work and live on coffee and candy bars. You need to at least have some healthy food. I had an experience years ago. I was writing one of my first books. It was due to be submitted. I had to submit the whole book on the 31st of August. Suddenly my publisher said, actually, we're bringing it forwards. Can you submit it on August the 7th? It's like, wow, that's 3 weeks early. And I thought that was going to be really hard, and it was hard. I had to get up in the morning and write and write and write. And I would stop at about midnight or less and just sleep, work. But I could do it because it was 3 weeks, only 3 weeks. And I was living on bananas and smoothies, but still healthy food. I was so busy typing I didn't get to eat, but I ordered jars of protein powder, and I'd whiz those up and put an avocado and a banana in it. And it was very important. I had to eat right. I had to hydrate. I had to sleep. When I finished writing, I took myself to bed. I didn't watch TV. I didn't read a magazine, but I kept all of the stuff I would normally read in a bag. I taped all my favorite shows. I was thinking, wow, in 3 weeks, it's going to take a whole day. I'm going to read all my newspapers, watch all my shows, and that 3 weeks ended. I submitted it. I also realized that I could submit my manuscript on that day. There's no way my publisher could read it all, and I still had a few more days, and then I could say, oh, I sent you the wrong one. Here's the real one, because I could buy a little bit of extra time. Not much, but enough. And when it was over, I felt so great. It's like running a marathon. You keep thinking, I'm going to feel so good when I accomplish this. I'm going to feel so great when I do this. If you run a marathon, you can only finish it by seeing the end, seeing the ticker tape, hearing the crowds cheer your name is how you complete a difficult task. You must see the ending. You must be your own cheerleader. Praise yourself. You're doing a great job. You're doing great here. You're making amazing headway. I'm really proud of you. So the cure is to praise yourself, to take breaks, to look after yourself, to care for yourself, to nurture yourself, build your praise muscle. See the end, because there is an end in sight. And do not compare yourself. Don't think, well, everyone else is doing better. How come other writers churn out a book, run 6 companies, go home and raise 3 kids and homeschool? Don't compare yourself. You are unique. You're doing it on your schedule. You do not need to compare yourself to anyone ever. Do it your way. It will absolutely work, but please don't go into burnout. There really is no need. Check out my next video here. Marilyn Monroe was such an example of someone who looked out there. She believed, if I become rich and famous and beautiful, then surely I'll feel lovable. And I've seen many, many clients who say, but no one loves me. I can't find love.